Hey everybody, it is Angie Atkinson, the Empath Entrepreneur, and I'm so excited we are here for our next free training. Today, I'm excited to present to you the Visibility Factor. So welcome to the Visibility Factor free training class. My name is Angie Atkinson, and I'm a successful author, certified life coach, just for those of you who don't know, and a well-known YouTuber with more than 28,000 subscribers on my main channel. I've written more than 20 books. I'm the creative queenbeing.com, and my YouTube channel has been featured by FeedSpot as one of the top 50 in my niche around the world. So I'm relatively qualified to do this. Just a little housekeeping though. I'm going to first share with you the content of our free training course. And then if you stay tuned to the end, I'm going to open up the floor for you to ask your own questions for a few minutes if you're watching live. Now I'm going to give you a really amazing gift at the end of this training. So make sure you stick around to find out how to get it. And real quick before we begin, I'm just going to review with you what you're going to learn in today's training, in case you didn't sign up beforehand, but you can still sign up now, the link's below, to get the freebies. Anyway, first I'm going to teach you, basically we're going to learn how to be found by your target audience by turning your content into optimized content, okay? The fact is that when you know who your audience is and you play to their needs, you're certainly 100% more likely to succeed in your business online. So let me ask you, what if you could successfully learn while you're doing that? You're going to successfully learn today how to be found by your target audience and to optimize your content for Google and other search engines, as well as for humans, from someone who's been doing it successfully for years. That would be me. On today, I'm going to teach you how to be found by your target audience. So in this free training, I'm going to teach you how to redefine your target audience, or how to define it in the first place, how to connect with them, how to optimize your content for both your audience and search engines, how to optimize your social media platforms in the same way to attract your target audience, and how to change your business. Okay, so let's just jump right in, shall we? Let's just jump right in. All right, so we're going to start off talking a little bit about SEO. All right, hello Malta, thank you for being here, my friend. And so let me just get this set up really quick. Sorry, I'm having a little technical issue, but I'm about to show you. Sir, tell you, I guess. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we're going to start out and we're going to talk about search engine optimization made simple, okay? Because that's going to be the first step. So SEO, search engine optimization, is something that you've probably heard about, right? And the thing is, it can help you to attract organic, that is unpaid traffic to your website. There's a lot more to SEO than just keywords, right? A lot of people think if they just put a bunch of keywords there, it's going to be picked up. Well, Google is really smart these days, and so are all the other search engines. There's a lot more to it. So this training, I'm going to give you a really strong overview, the meat of what SEO is, the different types of SEO, and how to do it for yourself. All right, so let's start with on-page SEO, which is, again, search engine optimization. So essentially, this is any type of SEO that you do directly on each page of your website, including your blog post, and it all starts with the content, right? It also includes architecture and the actual code within your website. We're not going to get too deep into that, don't worry. Content, though, anything you put on your website that shares information to your audience is content. So blog posts, videos, etc. Articles, memes, images, graphics, all that stuff is content. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you have a variety of content for maximum SEO value. So different types of content, right? So you want articles, different things. Okay, so then there's quality versus quantity to consider. So obviously it's true that you want to put up a lot of content for your audience. It's more important, though, that your content is high quality, that it offers value to your viewers, readers, etc. You do want to put up content more often than you think. Some people will tell you, oh, I want to put it up monthly, but that's just not really enough. But on the same token, you don't need several pieces of content a day per se, because if you do that, make sure it works, but make sure that you consider the quality, because the quality is important. So keyword research is the next thing you need to think about. A lot of people choose not to do keyword research, but if you do it, you're going to waste less time creating content that doesn't get results and end up with more time to create awesome content that actually does. So think about that. We're going to talk about it a little more. Use keywords strategically, but, and I want to say something to you about this really quick before I continue. I don't want you to, there's back in the day when SEO first became a thing, I remember a lot of people were writing articles that were terribly stiff and uncomfortable because they were trying to include all these certain keyword phrases. And I have found since even back then, when Google wasn't as smart as it is today, writing naturally and writing in a way that, yes, include the keywords, but only do so in a way that is flowing naturally, like as you would speak the words, is the most effective thing. But try to figure out what type of power words, high emotion words make your audience feel something and want to do something. There are general power words that you can use, such as, oh, this is a devastating blow, or, oh, look at these majestic views, stuff like that, or something else like that that gets their attention, makes them feel something. That's the biggest thing that you want to do with content, is you want to give them not only value, but also some sort of an emotional reaction. That's the kind of stuff that goes viral. So, a little tip from me to you. Hot topics, updated and fresh. Those are important things to consider with your content. So a great way to make use of the time that you have to create content is to focus on hot topics and trends of the day, if that works in your niche. Evergreen content is also important, but if you keep the content updated and fresh by using headlines of the day, for example, to evoke curiosity, it works. But just a friendly warning, don't try to trick your readers or your viewers or your whoever with clickbait, because it's only going to work a few times before it stops working, and then you're going to lose something really important, and that's trust. So think about that. The next thing you want to consider is horizontal content and vertical content. What am I talking about? Well, you want a combination of both types. Horizontal content is going to cover kind of everything on your website in a way. Your content's going to be full of your website's going to be full of content on all the pages, like your About Us page, your home page, etc. And that's going to be consistent throughout most people's websites. Vertical content concerns itself with a specific topic within the topic and goes across all your channels. So you're going to have your horizontal content on your website, and then you're going to have like your YouTube videos and your Twitter stuff and your Facebook stuff and so forth to go. Usually blog posts and videos and things work really well for that. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to do is provide solutions. So your content, in addition to, being interesting and readable or viewable, you're going to want to provide solutions. That is really the secret. Think of what your target audience could possibly be interested in, and then, like if they would Google, how to make macaroni and cheese, provide a macaroni and cheese recipe. You feel me? They want to help you solve. They want help solving their problems, and if you provide that, they will become your people. They should be able to solve some of their problems without buying anything, and your content can fulfill that need. So the other thing it should be is authoritative. So obviously you're going to want to have some short bite-sized stuff around, but you're also going to want longer, more in-depth content like long blog posts, white papers, articles, etc., as well as little guides to help people in search engines know that your site is serious and that you are there to help your audience. Okay. When it comes to content and SEO, you have a lot of different ways that you can improve your content by using good SEO practices like keywords within the first paragraph, the title, subheadings, headings, as well as anchor text, and of course metadata. If you like put a picture in, put in a good description using your keywords, things like that. The other important on-page SEO factor is the architecture of your website. So if your page doesn't load fast, then even people who do click through to read, they're going to lose patience and they're going to give up. So make sure that these things are optimized. I'm going to go through this quickly because I know not everybody's here yet. But sitemaps, search engines, they need to crawl or see your pages in order to index them. So if the search engines can't do that, your information is not going to be out there on the search pages. The best thing to do is to create a sitemap so that the search engines can easily crawl and index your website. You want to avoid duplicate content. You've heard it before, and it's true. To be sure, check any content on your website with copyscape.com or grammarly.com or any plagiarism checker. Even if you didn't do it on purpose, you want everything on your site to be unique, all right? Responsive, your website has to be responsive. It's got to be mobile. Everybody is on mobile. If I look at the analytics for my own website, like 87% of the people who access my site do so through a tablet or a phone. So I have to try to make sure that everything is optimized for that purpose. If your site is not mobile friendly, Google is not going to keep listing it, and that sucks, but it's true. Most people, like I said, will use mobile devices to interact with the net these days, at least some of the time. Next thing you want to do is make sure you have faster load speeds. So you want a website that loads fast, because a website that loads slow is bad for you, bad for users, and due to that, it's bad for SEO. Google sees it, knows it, doesn't it lowers your search ranking, right? So you can test your website speed at various things, various links, and I'll put one in the free training for you guys after this is over. But you don't want the load, you want the load to be less than 10 seconds, but really less than 3 if possible, or within 3 seconds. Meaningful page URLs. This goes back to using keywords in your titles. You want the URL to say what's on that page. Rather than saying, oh, page 1 or page 2, make sure it says it's about your business or take a course, so that people and search engines know what to expect on the page. Now, one more thing, security. If you sell anything on your website, make sure you have the HTTPS with the SSL certificate. It's important not just to people using the site, but Google does rank securely. They rank secure sites higher than those that aren't secure. So I don't have Queen Being on a secure site because I don't sell anything directly on Queen Being. But like if you go to Life Makeover Academy, you'll notice before the URL it says HTTPS, and that's because it is a secure site. You can also ask your web host for information about that if you're selling directly from your site. How your site is arranged and whether or not your audience can find out what they want on your page is also really important for good SEO. So the other aspect to consider is the HTML code. If you use a good builder like self-hosted WordPress, that's going to be taking care of you. It's already going to be taken care of for the most part. But if you've built your site from the ground up, which most people don't do these days, but if you have, double check that stuff. Titles with keywords. All your titles for every page and blog post should include at least one keyword. I think more than one, and I like the long tail keywords, the phrases too. Say what's on the page and what's in the blog post. This is going to help that page rank higher due to being clear what's on it. All right, meta descriptions, like I said before, within the website behind the scenes are meta codes. These little bits of code tell search engines what's inside. Now, this is not, again, as big of a deal as it used to be, but if you have an opportunity to fill in the meta descriptions, do it. Use a good word plugin like Yoast SEO to help you. It's free. And don't skip this because it does help. It really can be important. Next thing you want to consider is how easy is it to get around your site? Is your navigation well structured? So you want to be sure that your audience can take one look at your homepage or your landing page and know exactly what to do and how to get around your site. I have personally created a Start Here guide. I think everybody should do that. So when you first land on queenbeing.com, you will see, this is where you can start your healing. Start here, and there's a little button, and it takes you right to the Start Here page, and it walks you through a few steps to get started with my stuff. And that has been very helpful for people, and I see a lot of people landing on that page to check and see where they want to start. It kind of helps people know what to do first and how to get around if your site is large, which mine happens to be because it's a lot of content. Using headers, though, is also important. So headlines, subheads, proper tags, etc., always important to use not only for your audience because it's easier to read little chunks of content instead of one big block, but also for the search engines because these clues to the content on your site helps send the right audience to you. Okay. So if you're going to hire a web designer, make sure that they are going to help you with these things because they really are important for your success. If you're doing it yourself, learn all you can and use a website builder like self-hosted WordPress, which I personally use for queenbeing.com. But it can get expensive if you I just learned recently, when you get above a certain amount of traffic, you have to pay for a private dedicated host, which gets a little bit expensive, but it can be worth it if you have enough traffic to do that. Otherwise, you won't have to worry. The next type of SEO you want to concern yourself with is off-page SEO. So off-page search engine optimization. This is everything you do off your website to bring people to your website. Believe it or not, that's also SEO. So we're going to talk about 4 types of SEO that you can do off-page. Trust, that's the first one. There's literally almost nothing more important to your success than trust. If you lose the trust of your audience, you lose sales and you lose any authority standing. But if you do what you say you will do and you don't disappear for long periods, you can build trust. So think about this. Our shares and likes showing authority. When you share anything, ensure that it comes from a reliable source, that if it's not you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're back to my macaroni and cheese example, I used that earlier today too. I don't know why. If you're a macaroni and cheese cooker, or cook or whatever, chef, and you're going to share a recipe from some other macaroni and cheese chef, make sure that it's a legit. They tried the recipe out. They know it works. It's a legit situation. Wikipedia generally is not considered a legit source, just so you know, from a journalistic perspective, but just make sure that your source is legit. That's important. Double check your data, make sure it's right too. Make sure you engage with your audience. If you post anything anywhere, do you answer questions? Do you share other things from your, things that your audience sends to you? Get involved. Don't share things that are crap, and don't forget that engagement helps you to build trust with your would-be audience. Let's talk about site age. One thing that search engines like Google use to rank a website is the age of the domain. They assume if it's around for a long time, it must be important, real, trustworthy, and relevant. You can buy older domains, but if you do that, make sure you check them out. You wouldn't want to accidentally buy an old domain that disappointed someone or that had broken the law. Because here's the deal. For example, Project Blissful is a book I wrote, and I had a website called Project Blissful. Well, somehow the website became infected. It was a long time ago. Somebody attacked the website, one of these cyber attacker people, and the website actually got blacklisted from Google. So obviously projectblissful.com is an old URL, but it's one that has negative connotations with Google, so we don't use that one anymore. You see what I'm saying? Another thing, reconsider advertisements. Depending on the type of site that you have, pay attention to how your audience is viewing ads. A lot of people aren't going to revisit sites that have too many ads because they do tend to make computers crash, and sometimes they have some extra code in there that doesn't help anything. They load slow, etc. Figure out what your audience wants. And quite honestly, I'm just going to be really straight up with you. I've had little success with standard advertising on a website. I find that, using Amazon ads, things like that work okay, but like Google AdSense works well for me on YouTube, but not on this channel, my other channel, but it doesn't work well for me on my website, so I don't use it there. So think about what your audience wants. Know that you can build trust by sharing authoritative and accurate content that you have created and that others have created. Just make sure that you double check any facts and that you're ready to answer questions and that you can back up what you say before you do it. All right, now let's talk about links. One way to build traffic to your website is through link building. This means that there are links going into your website from other websites. For example, your LinkedIn profile has a link to your website, right? Or it will if it doesn't yet. There are certain important factors to consider before you get started with this, though. Number one, who's linking to you? First, find out who's linking to you, because you want to make sure that every single link to you is coming from a legitimate site with legitimate reasons for the link. So are they high quality links? If the links are high quality, that's great. The best links come from legit websites like educational sites, the .edu sites, news-related sites, things like that. But websites that have been around a long time and have a big audience also work very well. It's the PR ranking or the authority. Our links and anchor text thoughtful keywords. Make sure that when someone's linking to you through a guest post or other means, that it's a good keyword to ensure that you get more clicks. Another thing is how many people are linking to your site. Another factor about linking is that the more links you get, the better, as long as they're high quality and built in a natural way. This is funny, right? That's why article marketing sites don't really exist anymore. How do you get more links? Well, to get more, you find authoritative websites or blogs to guest post on. Send a letter to them with a post idea that you can write and let them know when you'll send it from the time they agree, and then stick to that. Just a little tip from me to you. As you start to build your blog, you're going to get more and more people sending. I get these every day. And just, if you are trying to put your content on somebody's website, make it worth their while, okay? Because if you just send them, oh, I saw that you had an article on this, can you stick my link in there? I ignore those emails like that. I don't know those people. I don't know who they're, I'm not going to go, you know what I'm saying? Make it worth my while, make it worth my time, and then I'll look at it. And I'm not trying to sound funny when I say that, but I get a lot of emails every day. So those people, very often, I don't even read their emails unless they stand out from all the other ones. So keep that in mind. It's very important that you don't pay for a link. Avoid link farms, avoid spam. Getting links back to your website should be a natural result of the work you do on social media, guest posting, conducting webinars, interviews, and all that stuff. Okay? Let's talk about geography. I'm sorry about that. Let me turn this down. Let's talk about geography. Okay. I don't know why this is doing this. I'm trying to silence my phone. Very unprofessional. I'm so sorry. All right. Another factor that is important when it comes to SEO is geography, if that is something that's important to you. So in some cases, you're not going to want the search engines to index you geographically. This could keep your audience from ever finding you. Like if I were to say, oh, hey, Google, index me as St. Louis, then people might think that I'm only helping people in St. Louis, and that would not benefit my business at all, right? So don't overlook the importance of it, though, because you can use both your country and your individual locality by using those terms on your website if you want to. If you are a local business, put your address at the bottom of every page. Mention things about your area within your blog posts. Make it a priority to mention your local area or your country if you want to be indexed in that way. Now let's talk about social. This is by far, in my opinion, one of the most important off-page SEO tactics. Using social media effectively can do wonders for your website. Wonders, I'm not joking, for your website traffic. But you have to come up with a good plan of action. You need a strategy and you need to see it through rather than just getting on social media and willy-nilly posting whatever, right? Look at your social shares and find out who's sharing your content. You want to make sure that they're reputable, and if they are, you can definitely get more people to share it, see? But the biggest key to getting others to share is to ask them. Grow your followers, all right? So you're going to run a contest or a giveaway or an event or something to build your followers on the social media platform that you're trying to promote and build. It's a really helpful thing to do. Another thing, like I said, ask people to share. When you share anything on social media, make sure that no matter how far it's shared, it will always lead back to you, and ask people to share it. If you don't ask, they generally won't do it. Now, the next thing is keep your content optimized. People are going to click on your content sometimes just because it's interesting to them and they don't know who you are. And that's a good thing. Make sure you've optimized it as much as you can. Check your page titles, meta descriptions, alt tags, so forth, and make it the best you can for both human eyes and search engines. You're going to want to follow influencers, all right? So if you are in any niche, go around and find out who all the influencers are in that niche and follow them, because they won't follow you back if you're not following them. Mention their name in posts. Call them out so they notice you. You know, if you write a post about Gary Vaynerchuk, you can tweet him and say, hey, Gary V, I put you in a post over here. You know, Amy Schmittauer wrote about, she did a little review of Gary V's book, Gary Vaynerchuk's book, and she sung it. She sung the review. It was adorable. And she put it on YouTube, and then she tweeted him, and it totally blew her whole channel up and her whole life up. He retweeted the tweet, and it made her channel. It was pretty amazing. So know that. Don't be a pest, but identify the influencers that you want most to mention you and find a way to stand out to them. Next up, keep your brand solid. Try not to go off brand and lose your voice on social media. It's really easy to get mixed up with your personal accounts and your business accounts, but don't cross them. Instead, practice your brand voice and keep it true to your brand. But when I say that, I want to just clarify something. You know, if you're an empath entrepreneur, you're pretty real. You're going to need to be real. So make sure that you don't, if you're going to separate your business from your personal life, really separate them. Don't share your business on your personal profile. I personally kind of keep it together because I'm who I am, you know? So keep that in mind. Social media is really an amazing opportunity for us, big businesses and small ones. And there are people who have become millionaires just by using Instagram creatively and strategically. Use social media to push people toward your website, and you just really can't go wrong if you do it in the careful way. Search engine optimization can mean the difference between success and failure. So if you really want to get a lot of targeted traffic to your website, then take a look at your on and off page SEO. It's not hard. Just go through the list, improve one thing at a time, and you're going to see a huge difference in your traffic. All right. Now we're going to talk really quickly about building personal relationships with your potential customers. Okay. Something I want to say to you really quickly is you want to build a so-called avatar. And I kind of talked about this in our previous training, but you want to know who you're talking to, okay? You want to talk to someone, you want to imagine that your camera is your ideal customer and you want to talk to that person. Or imagine that your ideal customer is reading your blog post, you want to talk to that one person. Whether this means an individual connection or an overall audience connection often depends on what you're doing specifically in your business. Either way, though, the method reminds us that keeping a working relationship is always easier than starting a new one, right? So hunting for new customers, for example, is time consuming and it can be expensive. Finding new leads has troubled businesses for years, whether it's a brick and mortar store or an online deal. It's easier to ask a loyal customer to return than it is to bring a new one in off the street. So know the value of your customers, your clients, all these people, readers, viewers, and let them know that you appreciate them. By the way, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? In order to do this, it's really important to create an environment that is worthy of their interest. So if you have, like, let's just say a dim lit store, right? Nobody wants to visit a poorly managed, or weakly designed website, just like nobody wants to visit a dim lit, ugly store. You know what I'm saying? More than once. Beyond these seemingly obvious aspects, you have to remember that customers, whether you're selling products or seeking readers, they want to see new information, and that's what keeps them coming back for more. So if you follow these steps, it's not only going to bring them back, but it's also going to encourage the same people to spread the message for you, okay? Reducing the price of advertising and inviting new people into your life from word of mouth. Customers are going to spread the word when they feel respected and they believe in a product or source of information. So you're always going to make sure that you have respect for your audience and let them know that this mutual, respect exists, believe it or not. Respect comes in the form of your audience and your market. Focus on the needs of the market and the audience as if nothing else matters, because quite honestly, nothing else does matter without your people, right? You need your people. Put the needs of your people above the needs of the company, and the company will strive from this foundation of respect. Commit to a level of excellence and expel this excellence right out into your customer base, okay? So how do you integrate social media and content marketing? Well, social media marketing, as you know, means promoting your website through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media networks. This is obviously, as we talked about, a highly effective way to build fans, interact with your visitors, gain more visitors to your site, all of that good stuff. Content marketing, on the other hand, means adding blogs and blog posts, articles, things like that to your website so that you can demonstrate your knowledge in a given subject. It actually sets you up as an expert, and it helps you to gain subscribers who are going to come back regularly to your website so that you can fill, and of course, so that you can fill your site with content for Google to find. But these two strategies should not be thought of as separate things. Instead, you should think of them as one overarching approach. Okay, so there's a lot of synergy to be had between social media and content marketing. And when you understand this, you can massively grow your traffic. So first of all, you have to write for your audience. All right. The most obvious way that social media and content marketing go hand in hand is probably that you'll be sharing your content to your social media channels. Manually or automatically, you should always post them on Facebook, Twitter, and elsewhere each time you create a new article and upload it. Okay. You should also look for a specific community in social media or various communities. So maybe you're going to join Facebook groups, Google Plus communities, get involved with Reddit, all that kind of stuff. But make sure you follow the rules, because people don't like it when you share things in their group without permission. So be aware of that. But instead of making it, and you can't just blindly share it, you have to actually participate in stuff. Instead of making this an afterthought, you should go one step further and make it a starting point when coming up with your content. So in other words, when you first set out to write a new article, you should ask yourself, who's this article for? Where am I going to share it? Because if you only put the work into your blog post, if you know that there's a specific audience out there for it, you're not going to waste your time. That will make sure you're successful. An article, for example, on Bruce Lee is going to be highly popular if you share it to a Bruce Lee Google Plus community. You know what I'm talking about? Just in the same way, you can use a strategy to reel in entirely new audience members. Combining different niches, for instance, is a great way to write something new and get lots of hits. So if you have a fitness website, you could write about fitness and martial arts. And then you could submit that to martial arts groups with their permission. Or why not write about fitness for entrepreneurs and share this to entrepreneur groups, again, with their permission? Think of your angle and where you're going to share your content before you release it. That way you can guarantee ROI for the effort you put into your writing. And I just want to share something else with you about writing. When you're writing stuff, when you're writing your articles, anything like that, blog posts, if you're not sure it sounds right, read it out loud. Because anytime you read anything out loud, if you stumble over the words or they don't sound natural coming out of your mouth, change it. Because people read in the same way that you speak. Another little tip for on-page SEO, make sure you keep your paragraph short, no more than 2 to 3 sentences, and put a space between your paragraphs. It makes it easier for the human eye to read it, okay? Now I'm going to share with you 8 secrets of social marketers who are successful, okay? Social media marketers. So how do people become experts in social media marketing, right? Well, we're going to talk about that. First of all, they have a goal. Every business venture needs to have a goal. You have to ask yourself, why do you want to use social media as your marketing tool? What do you want to achieve? Do you wish to have better recognition in your niche? Do you want to improve your branding? Don't start if you haven't found the answers to those questions. You want to choose the right platform. Being on all social media platforms is not really always beneficial because you can't possibly engage in all of them. Okay, you need to choose 1 or 2 that are most suitable for your type of business. Like in some cases, you're going to do great on Facebook. Other companies will do better on Pinterest. You have to know which platform is right for you and focus on that one instead of wasting your efforts using a larger amount of platforms, but ending up with less results. All right. So like for my business, I find that Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and maybe Pinterest are the best ones for the most part. And LinkedIn sometimes. Motivate yourself. So you're going to stop making excuses, right? If you have a business and you want to keep up with the times and you want to thrive in your chosen industry, you've got to be motivated. Backing out in the middle of it is going to totally mean that all of your effort, time, etc., cash, if you spent any, is going to go to waste. Next up, you want to be effective. So being busy does not mean that you are effective, believe it or not. Make sure that you are busy using a technique that will help you reach a goal. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels. Entrepreneurs don't have time to do that. If something isn't working, move on and try something else. Make sure that every post you make has a strategy behind it and a goal. And we're going to talk a little more about that as we go forward. Next up, understand your audience. Your marketing efforts, again, are going to go to waste if you don't fully understand what your audience wants. We've talked about this already. You have to know what they need. You have to know the common problems they have, and you have to know the solutions they are in search of. Now, I watched something the other day with some big marketing guru, and she said that she has 4 or 5 different avatars, meaning the would-be customer or client. I think it's effective to use 1 or 2. You can do whatever feels best for you. All right. Next up, you want to prioritize. Even if you decide to use multiple social media platforms, it is likely that you're going to have one platform that will be more adept to your needs than others. It's really important that you prioritize your efforts to be as efficient as possible. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Woo. Be unique. Excuse me. A lot of companies are doing the same thing. Try to be different. Try to stand out. What are you doing differently? That's your thing that sells, right? That's the thing that's going to help you sell. So do something different than what other people are doing. Even if the only thing that you have that's different than another person is your personality, well, put it out there, okay? Next step, engage. You've got to engage, like I said, with your audience. Even if you keep posting, you're not going to increase your followers very much or expand your reach if you don't interact with your audience. Consumers these days are different than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. They prefer a company that has a voice rather than faceless corporations who do not listen to what they have to say. Now, you know that creating content is the base for good SEO. If you just naturally write your content, all of this stuff doesn't matter that much. because well-written content that says what it means and that has the appropriate keywords in it is going to be picked up by Google. But you have to consistently produce it, and you have to consistently share it out to your social media platforms, and you have to engage with your people. Yes, Google looks for keywords. Of course it does. What's the best way to find a keyword? Well, you can certainly dig around in the SEO keyword trackers, and you can certainly go to Google AdWords and check there. And I'll give you guys a list of that stuff in your free resources after this. But here's the thing that I think is most important, and that is producing content that is valuable. And if you want to look for the keywords, go to Google and type in a few words. Like, so if you're looking for macaroni and cheese recipe, type in macaroni and cheese. And then as you do that, you will see a little drop down, just like on YouTube, the same deal. You'll see the auto suggest, that right there, the auto complete stuff. Those are really good keywords. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll often see people always ask in your Google search. Use those to your advantage. That's the kind of stuff people are searching for. So if you type in, macaroni and cheese and bacon recipe, see what other suggestions come up and put those words in your content in that order. You see what I'm saying? But naturally flowing, not something that's going to be uncomfortable and terrible. Bottom line, if you use good SEO, if you use sensible practices, and when I say good SEO, I have found that certainly I've done SEO. Certainly I've gone in and I've put meta descriptions on my pictures, and I've done all the things. But I think the very best way to get people to watch you, listen to you, buy from you is to just be straight up honest, say what you mean what you say, and follow through. I think that's how you do it. And I want you to know that anyone can do it. And if you want me to help you learn SEO, learn how to connect with your people better, learn how to create a customer avatar, I'm totally into doing that. So how will we do it? Well, I'm going to tell you. You can join my Empath Mastermind group. So let me tell you what you get when you do this really quickly, okay? So let's see here. I had it all ready to pull up. Okay, so this is the online work at home business mastermind. Okay, we call it the Empath Entrepreneur Mastermind Group. You can make your own schedule. You can make your own money from anywhere if you work from home, obviously, or from wherever, if you start your own online business. This one is for empath entrepreneurs specifically. So we're not looking for people who just want to make a bunch of money and walk away. You can ethically make money online, and you can help people make their lives better this way. Okay, so if you want to start your own online business or take your existing business to the next level, this is the program for you. In this program, I teach you how to take your dream of starting a business and put it into action. It's an ongoing program. You learn everything you need to know about starting a business and taking it to the next level of success. So you learn how to decide what business you want to do. You learn how to decide exactly the right opportunity for you. You learn how to develop proven marketing techniques, build sales. Since every business needs money, you have the option to learn about traditional and non-traditional financing options. And of course, the way I started my business was with no money. So you learn that too. You also learn how to market your business and how to build your website and a lot more. Plus, you you get free access to every Life Makeover Academy business course ever, including future ones. And then there's a huge amount of courses right inside the classroom for the people who are in this group. They get their huge amount of, and more come every week. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. I'm so sorry. Allergies. Okay. So you're also going to learn a lot of other stuff. And as a new business owner, you need to manage all of your limited resources. One resource that often gets looked over is your time. And I've learned the hard way, I'm so sorry guys, that time is your most effective, most precious resource. It can't be renewed. So we also focus a little bit on hacking your time management, stuff like that. The curriculum is ridiculous. There's a huge amount of it. I'm not even going to read through all of it. You guys can click the link below and take a look at some of the stuff that's in there. Plus, you get every Life Makeover Academy business course included, which currently $891 worth of them, and there are more coming, right? So we have the blogging masterclass, we have the YouTube celebrity masterclass, using YouTube Live to grow your business masterclass, creating your Kindle publishing masterclass, fast track plan for starting your own online business, YouTube for Empath Masterclass, Unleash Your Inner Greatness Masterclass, Empowered Life, Your Inner Greatness, all of these things. All of this is included for free as part of your membership fee. So check that out. Please check it out. The link is below if you're interested. Now let me just carry on. Let's see here. And what was I going to tell you guys? Oh yeah. So now I'm going to answer the questions that were left for me in the classroom before the session. And then I'm going to open up for your questions. So stick with me if you're here live. All right. So the first question was, I have a niche skill that I really want to thrive with. I'm an illustrator and a painter, which is not the easiest thing to be able to generate a lot of income, much less as a woman in art. She says, I know I can do it, but I don't know exactly where to start. Totally feel you, girl. Obviously, you want to start with your social media and stuff like that. But when we're talking about where to sell it, Etsy, Amazon, Artfire, eBay, Artist Rising, Artplode, Artsy, Fine Art America, all of those are good sites. Also, start your own website as well. Link out to the different places you're selling it. I wouldn't just sell it in one egg basket, right? I would put it on eBay. I would put it on Etsy. I would put it on Amazon for sure. And then maybe some of these other art sites to get your name out there. I would set up a YouTube channel and I would have people watch you make the art. And here's the thing about a YouTube channel. You could create a piece of art and then you could sell the piece of art, tell them where to buy it and put the link below. You could teach them techniques. And like I was telling one of my masterminds this morning in our meeting, you could actually like sit there and create a piece of art, right? Teach the techniques, show them how to do it step by step. And then you can say, if you want to do this yourself, I put a link, a list below of all the links to the stuff that I used. And then you can find all those things on Amazon, set yourself up as an Amazon associate. And when they click through, you get a small percentage of what people buy from Amazon, right? So Amazon affiliates, good stuff. That'll help you make a few extra bucks as well. Definitely, I think that's a really smart idea, and I think you should totally do it. And I think anybody can do this because nobody's art is the same. The girl that I was talking with, Shannon, who's I think here right now, she's one of my masterminds, and she is an amazing artist and crafter and everything else, and she's going to do something similar on her channel. So you can do that and not steal from Shannon because her art's going to be different than your art. You see what I'm saying? It's good stuff. All right. Next question. Which social media platforms are the best to use and how many should you use at once? Okay, well, this is going to depend entirely on your niche. So where are your people? Facebook is good for nearly anyone. Pinterest is good for moms, is good for art, it's good for home decor, makeup, etc., things like that, weight loss, all that kind of stuff. Instagram is good for fashion, makeup, art, weight loss, things like that. Twitter for business, as well as almost any kind of niche if you get involved with the right Twitter community. Tech and business are good. Google Plus is good for tech and business, not really for almost anything else. Internet stuff is good for that, for Google Plus. Snapchat is good for only people below a certain age. Don't mess with Snapchat if your audience is 50 and above or 40 and above. You know what I mean? If you're 20 and below, 25 and below, maybe Snapchat. But honestly, since Instagram got Insta stories, you almost don't even need Snapchat, but there are a lot of kids on Snapchat. But remember who's paying the bills. So that's who you want to play to a little bit. I mean, obviously you want to get kids, if you're selling to kids, you want kids to be interested, but their parents have to know about it too if they're going to buy from you for the kids. So something to think about. I would say focus on no more than 2 to 4 of them. And when you're first starting out, I would not do more than 2. I would do, depending on, like if you're an artist, I would do Facebook and I would do YouTube maybe, or Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest. Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram. I wouldn't do more than 4 ever. Not real seriously, because the thinner you spread your efforts, the less effective they become. You know? All right. Okay. Another person asked a question where she I didn't really get a whole lot of questions. She just explained herself. Somebody else said to me, well, what if you hate social media? What if you don't want to work on social media? Do you have to do social media? I mean, and I'm just going to be really honest with you. If you're trying to do an online business and you're not going to do Facebook, you're going to be leaving a lot of potential business on the table. If you don't want to do Facebook for personal reasons, fine, but you can still put your business on Facebook, and you can still, create Facebook groups and things like that. Just don't put your personal business out there. Just make Facebook a professional thing for yourself. I totally understand if you don't want to do that, but it's going to make your life a lot harder. YouTube is going to help you. So a lot of people will do YouTube and not Facebook. And I think if you do that, you have a better chance of not using other social media platforms. But I think it's almost silly to not use Facebook to your, for your particular business. I think that's crazy. I think you have to use it, because otherwise you're just going to put yourself in a really, kind of a bad position. So, all right. I had a couple of questions that people asked, and I'm not sure if they were confused or what the deal was, but asked about narcissistic abuse recovery. And I'm not going to answer those in this video, because that's not what this video is about, but I will try to answer those on my other channel. So if you're one of those people, stay tuned over there. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to really quickly go through our questions. There aren't very many, it looks like, so throw them in there. I'm going to answer your questions now. And if you have any additional ones, throw them in, and we'll wrap up after that. Okay. For those who are here live, thank you for being here. Shannon, Malta, and somebody else who's not, I can't see who they are. All right, here we go. So Malta is my amazing admin. Love him, love him. Oh, of course, YouTube didn't send out a notification. Thank you, Malta. That's probably why nobody's here. There are some people here, awesome people, of course, but that's probably why it didn't go out. And that's okay, because this will remain, it will remain here, and it will also remain in the chat. So those who aren't here can always watch later. No big deal. All right. Thank you, Malta. All right. Shannon O'Brien is here. She says, hi, Angie. Hey, Shannon and Malta. Okay. Shannon says, macaroni and cheese is not easy to make from scratch. Having a good recipe would be cool, right? She said, so far I haven't found one that is yummy and easy and uses natural ingredients. Well, I can't speak to the natural ingredients part, but if you look up Ronald Reagan's macaroni and cheese recipe, it's pretty good. Okay. Malta says, links to free resources in Angie's Mastermind can be found within the video description. Thank you, my friend. And Malta says, good afternoon, everyone. If you have questions, please post them in the chat. Malta, you're awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. Shannon O'Brien says, this is a little off topic. The cartoon Angie that you use on your channel, where did you get it? I got that from Fiverr.com. Yes, I did. And that was, it cost me $80, and I got my, oh, are you talking about the one for the, Shannon, are you talking about the one for when I do the animated Angie stuff, though, where I have the little cartoon that talks? That is Plotagon. It's a program. You can get it on like iPads, and you can also get it on PC, but not Android, unfortunately. Okay, if that's what you're talking about. Shannon O'Brien says, how do you weigh benefit versus cost of putting links to other sites? If people click out and go elsewhere, they might not come back to your site. That's a good question. She said, I like the idea of linking out to related content, but then I lost this person from continuing in my information. Yeah, totally. That's the thing. And I thought that same way when I first started. But here's the thing. I wouldn't overly link out to other people's stuff. But the best way to do that is like in reference to something. So if somebody wants to pay you to put an ad on your site, then you can think about that. Yeah, the cartoon Angie, not the B one. Okay. Yeah, that one, hold on a second. The cartoon comes from Plotagon. It's a program that you can get, and you can get, I have it on PC and I have it on my iPad, but I don't like the one on the iPad as well. So it's kind of buggy, but it works. And you can design the character yourself. So that's what I did. Yes. But as far as linking out to other content, there's a benefit to it because it helps your site to have, it helps other sites, helps your site. But you don't need to link out to other people's stuff. And I don't think that if I were you, I would ever link out to other people's products necessarily. But like, let's say there's a technique that you borrowed from, then you might, like in the title, in the first paragraph of your article, if you're writing an article on how to do XYZ, then you could say, well, I got this idea from Joe Blow, the crafter over here. And here's a link to Joe's site, and then continue with your post. Most people won't click away. The other thing that you can do is you can set, when you're putting the links in, you can actually ask them to open it in a new window. So if you're using WordPress, you do that by creating the link, highlighting it, and then putting the link in the little box, you know what I mean? And then choose, and then if you use the little arrow thing, you can choose to open the link in a new window. It's an advanced option or whatever, but it's simple to do. Other than that, just don't do it. It might not be worth your energy or your time to do it. It takes time. Oh, Maddie is here. Hey, Maddie. Have a blessed weekend, Ms. Angie and Rumi. She says, I find that the personal touch is effective. She said, I put out flyers for my little cafe and visit different companies in my community. Yes, that is really, really good. And she says, I ask, and I can't, and I think that's a great idea. And you could even like give them coupons or, specials or, even, customer of the week, put their picture up or something. Oh, she says she asks people what they are looking for in the little cafe and they tell me, and this is what my menu is. Exactly. That's perfect. She says it's very simple and they love it. For my soaps, I give out a free little soaps and they come back for the big ones. That is smart. Smart. Oh, Shannon, that is a Bitmoji. Yes, check that, Bitmoji. And again, it's just an existing program. I just designed my own little person in there. Yeah. Oh, you mean on this channel? I gotcha. Yeah, Bitmoji. Okay. Maddie, I think those are great ideas. And I think another thing that you can do is, and I just thought of this, but with your little cafe, if you have regulars, I've seen this in restaurants before, they'll get you a Polaroid or something and take pictures of people that are regulars and stick it up on like a little bulletin board. People love stuff like that. Anyway, I think you're doing all the right things. How's it going with your little cafe, Maddie? She says, see, we're on the same page, girl. We're on the same page. That's great. I just saw she just typed in, I also take pictures of my customers and put them up on my wall. Woo, I love it. Love it. Brilliant minds think alike, she says. Absolutely. I love it. Okay. Anybody have any other questions before I wrap up for today? I will give it a second and I will tell you thank you for being here again. And for those who aren't here live, I will go ahead and we'll send out a notification through Life Makeover Academy because I know about 50 or 60 people signed up for this. And I guess because YouTube didn't send out the little thing, some people didn't make it for the live, but hopefully that'll work. Shannon says, any ideas for including some content about things like narc abuse without... So are you saying within your existing, like if as an artist? Well, here's an idea. Art therapy is a good idea without taking away from the crafts. Yeah, I think if you were to create a craft that was like, for example, we talked in Mastermind about maybe you would create like a shirt for me that we would give away or sell. For you or through you, I guess, that you would sell for us and whatever. Anyway, that would be a good idea. You could say that you're doing this to help, or to honor or whatever you want to say, some things I care about personally. Yeah. I think when you're talking about the crafts, I think the crafts, like, okay. So let's say you're doing a knitted thing, a knitted scarf or something. Maybe you could tell a story about it. I think that's a really good idea. Let's say with your Ma situation, right? Let's say that she was abusive, you had to get over it. So maybe if you make a scarf, you could say this is called a comfort scarf, and it's because something like this can comfort you when and tell your story. So I think that could be something that makes you different than other crafters. Instead of just straight up here's a crafting thing, you can tell a story, a pre-decided story, like decide ahead of time, okay, I'm going to tell a story about this. And as you're creating the craft on the video or you're writing the article, you can, like if you're writing the article, you can just tell the story at the top and then here's how to do the craft. But like you make it the why of the craft. You see what I'm saying? So like with the shirts, you could say that, narcissistic abuse is a pervasive and crazy thing, and this chick Angie over here, she talks about it, she helps people get through it, and so we're making these shirts with her logo, and if you're interested in getting it, here's how you get it, and here's how we made it, blah 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 blah, here's the link to the buy. You know what I mean? So does that make any sense to you, Shannon? Or if you're talking about your kids or homeschooling, let's say you're talking about homeschooling, so you're going to make let's say you're going to make some magnetic slime or something for homeschooling, for a science project or whatever. So you could say, oh, my kids, one of my kids is really interested in this kind of slime, and so we found this recipe for magnetic slime, and we just wanted to try something different, and it turned out really cool, so I'm gonna teach you how to do it, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're gonna do slime, but I'm just saying if that was the thing you did. Does that make sense? So tell your story, yeah, with your craft. Good. Okay. Maddie says, on my counter, I have little business cards from local women's abuse shelter and info about that. I love that. She says it opens doors for discussions, and I give them your channel and other avenues. Maddie, thank you so much. I love that, and I think that's such a great idea. And that can surprisingly can help you kind of grow a local community, which is awesome. Yeah, I love it. Okay. Any other ideas, thoughts, concerns, things you want to talk about before I wrap up? All right. Malta, as always, I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful for you being here. Thank you so much for being here. Maddie, Shannon, I love you both. Thank you for being here. And anyone else who is here and who hasn't commented yet, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I see there's a couple more here than we're seeing in the chat right now. So those of you who didn't make it live, please take a moment and share your thoughts below this video, or share your thoughts in the comments of the classroom, and I will see you soon. Those of you are, thank you, Malta. He says, Angie, Shannon, Maddie, have a great weekend and see you Monday, definitely. And make sure you check back in an hour or two over at Life Makeover Academy, and I'll throw some freebies in there for you guys, okay? Hugs and love, see you soon. Thanks for being there. Oops. All right, now I'm going.